For all you people watching on the replay, because it takes everybody a few minutes to get here, welcome to S.theREALone. Been watching the news less selectively than normal lately. And, well, yeah, we there's some things we probably ought to discuss. There's things that would be prudent to discuss. So, make sure I made this thing public real quick. Yes. I've done that before, made it unlisted, and then wondered why nobody showed up. I know it's a weird time to go live. Ordinarily go live on Wednesday nights over here, but haven't been lately. And all the notifications may be turned off for this channel too, so that is entirely possible. I have been Google moderated in several of the live streams lately. So I don't know what I did. Well, I do know what I did. I just don't know how to fix it. Because they don't tell you what's going on. They just do it. Let me see. Okay, yeah, they just popped in on my deal. I was just fixing to go see if I could try and figure out what's going on. Hey, Carol. The talking gets started faster if I know who I'm talking to. Now, this I will say to you lurkers, okay? If I mention something on here that puts you to of a mind to actually do a video talking about it, and don't bash me because you have a different opinion or whatever, because I don't think you're going to find any videos from me doing that to other people. I've made them, but I just make them for me. I don't publish them. Just makes me feel better because some of the people out here in YouTube are idiots. And I fully understand that I may not have the same thought processes that you do. I'm not going to be from the same background that you are. I'm not going to have the same life experiences that you have. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm wrong. Okay. Just because what I believe applies to me, you believe doesn't apply to you. That's why the whole keep it civil and clean, and don't link videos in the chat. I mean, that's because most of you people in here are going to be moderators, and whenever you start talking about stuff like this, people always, oh, I saw this guy's great video on this. I saw this person's great video on this. And the next thing you know, I got people watching Joel Osteen videos from a video I've done. And I don't want that. Okay. If you want to be a false prophet, fanboy, girl, whatever, do that on your channel. Don't do it on mine. Anyway, hey, Aid, who we got in? We got Aid, Rachel, Carol, Chipper, and that's enough. not doing this for a giant audience. I'm actually going to try to treat the chat pretty much like I was doing a Bible study, and we are going to open the book. The book's open. I'm reading out of the NIV because reasons. It's the translation is for this particular passage is accurate, so we can get away with it. They didn't modernize the meaning out of it. So anyway, I don't know who's been keeping up with the tensions in the Middle East over the past, I don't know, several days. But I watched the Middle East really close. That little, wedge of land over there is pretty important. So, biggest mistake I think that little country ever made was not emptying the strip. They should have done that then. They should have, convert or die. And then we wouldn't be here. But then we wouldn't be here, and I think we're actually supposed to be here. Hey, Clifford. But that's me. This is kind of, this is doomer porn / doomer Bible study night on S.theREALone. The things that are going on in our backyard, in our front yard, in, basically all over the world are, it's just nuts. Things are going on scales that, and on levels, we're playing, there's things out there going on that this is definitely some kind of 20-dimensional chess game that none of us will ever figure out. But we don't need to figure it out. We just need to know that it's being played. So, yeah, I knew about the gas shortage thing the day the hack happened, or that it was projected. I'm undecided on that because I can't, not even on DuckDuckGo can I get a straight answer anymore. You used to get different outlets or whatever, articles, stories, the availability of different press on there, but now it's just fewer search returns, but the search returns are always still the same people who are lying to us. So, well, y'all's gas comes in on a boat, doesn't it? Or do y'all have I don't know if does Hawaii have a pipeline? That'd be a big old long pipeline. But anyway, I'm gonna jump over and I'm gonna read this chapter of the Bible. I'd like to read 3 of them and then go to another book and read a chapter out of there too. But I'm going to be nice and not try to completely overload your brains. Can't see the chat, so if you feel like you need to stop talking, I'm going to pray now. You join me or not, it's your life. Heavenly Father, most gracious and high God, Lord, we're going to read your word. We're going to look into the warnings you gave us in your word. These words are red letters. We are told that they are quotes from your son in the form, and it's meant to be a warning, a warning and encouragement, a heads up about what we need to watch out for. And there's even more in the next chapter about what we need to be doing, why we need to be doing it, and how we need to be doing it. Lord, I praise you for the Bible. I praise you for the guidance it can give us. I praise you and honor you, glorify you for the peace and tranquility it can give us in our lives. I praise you for the ability to care for one another that, if applied, the Bible can give us. You are the Most High God. And I pray, Jesus, I ask especially for this prayer to be answered from our Father, that you do not let me lie about what this book says. Bind the prince of the air from interfering with this discussion, Lord. Do not allow him to distract me. Do not allow him to attack my home, my loved ones, my friends, in an attempt to silence your word. You command us to spread your gospel, the truth, the good news of your coming. And I ask that you block the ones that would stop that and allow this to go forward without a hitch. We love you, Jesus. We praise you, God. It's in Jesus' precious and holy name we pray. Amen. Health, happiness, and well-being to my friends also. Matthew chapter 24. I bet y'all, if any of y'all know what I'm talking, what I was mumbling about earlier, y'all already had the book open. It's Matthew chapter 24. Jesus left the temple and was walking away when his disciples came up to him to call his attention to its buildings because they were pretty. Do you see these buildings? He asked. Truly I tell you, not one stone here will be left on another. Every one will be thrown down. And Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, or as Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, his disciples came to him privately. Tell us, they said, when will this happen, and what will the sign of your coming and the end of the age? What will be the sign of your coming and the end of the age? I need to be able to... Hold on, I gotta make the font bigger, guys. My apologies. Jesus answered, watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still not to come. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of the birth pains. Then you will be handed over to be persecuted, put to death, and you will be hated by all the nations because of me. At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. But the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached, not thee, but this. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. So when you see me standing in the holy, when you see standing in the holy place the abomination that causes desolation, spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let no one on the housetop go down to take anything out of the house. Let no one in the field go back to get their cloak. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that your flight will not take place in the winter or on the Sabbath, for then there will be great distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world until now, and never to be equaled again. That's a lot of distress considering there's been a flood that killed everybody on the planet. If those days had not been cut short, no one would survive. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened. And at that time, if anyone says to you, look, here's the Messiah, or there he is, do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you ahead of time. So if anyone tells you, there he is out in the wilderness, do not go out. Or here he is in the inner rooms, do not believe it. For as lightning comes from the east, is visible even in the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man. So will be the coming of the Son of Man. Wherever there is a carcass, there the vultures will gather. Immediately after the distress of those days, this is after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light, the stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. And I just hold on. Give me a minute. And the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then all the peoples of earth will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And all the peoples of earth, doesn't exclude anybody, will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as the twig gets tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things, you know that it is near, right at the door. Truly I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Excuse me, people. Phone's on airplane mode now. The day and hour unknown. But about that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. As it was in the days of Noah, so will it be at the coming of the Son of Man. For in those days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day Noah entered the ark. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came, took them all away. That is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. 2 men will be in the field, one will be taken and the other one left. 2 women will be grinding with a hand mill, and one will be taken and the other one left. Remember the last Bible study we did that got cut off? This was where I was going with that. At the day of the Lord, right there, Jesus said it himself. When I come back, then this happens. Then, on the day of the Lord. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. But understand this, if the owner of that house had known at what time of night the thief was coming, he would have kept watch and not have let his house be broken into. So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him. And then it goes into a parable, which is important. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom the master has put in charge of the servants in his household, to give them food at the proper time? It will be good for that servant whose master finds him doing so when he returns. I truly tell you, he will be put in charge of all of his possessions. But suppose that servant is wicked and says to himself, my master is staying away a long time. And he then begins to beat his fellow servants and to eat and drink with drunkards. Wasting the gifts of God, wasting your abundance, instead of taking care of those people put in your charge. That is why God increases you. That's why a guy who only needs $100,000 a year to live well, because the promises he makes to God, God goes ahead and sprinkles on him $1 million a year, because in theory he could bring 100 people into a good life with him, or more, 200, 300. Yet he chooses instead to lord over them. That's a different sermon. But suppose that servant is wicked and says to himself, my master is staying away a long time, and he then begins to beat his fellow servants and eat and drink with drunkards. The master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Doesn't say unbelievers. It says people that got it wrong, or knew better, but thought they were above the law, thought they were above the rules. I got the blood of Jesus, I can get away with whatever. It doesn't work that way. So, reap what you sow. Refuse to wear your PPEs. Continue to smoke when you know it's bad for you. You get what you got coming. So as in the days of Noah, they didn't know it was coming because they weren't watching for it. The temple that Jesus and his disciples walked through, and the disciples were like, look at this, Jesus, this is pretty. And he's like, this is all going to be torn down, right? And they were like, oh. 70 years later, or 70 years after his death, most of Jerusalem and hundreds of thousands of captured Jews were slaughtered by the Roman Empire after their revolt. I'll teach you that in history, but it happened. So, who else snuck in here while I was over there reading? We have Tibor. So, yeah. So Jesus was right about the temple. I mean, the Jews and the Christians after that temple thing, were treated about the same. they were now, well, yeah, they kind of screwed the pooch and pissed off the Emperor of Rome. And yada, yada, yada. There was conversions, and then we got the Roman Catholic Church and all that. But, a lot of the denominations, the sects, the religious ideologies out there can be placed in the realms of false prophets and being deceived and doctrines of men and all that stuff. I was talking with the Sasquatch the other day. It's kind of rare. The blue, he called me and asked me a question that actually caught me a little off guard. It was a fair question, though. Are you a Baptist or are you a Israelite? And the answer was, well, I'm not either. I am a licensed Baptist minister. I was raised a Baptist. I was baptized into the disciples of Christ. So technically, by baptism, I'm a disciple of Christ. But I made the mistake of taking a pastor job and actually going into the church. Well, I've always volunteered to help at any of the churches that we ever attended. It was a big annoyance to my missus, who wanted to go to church, Sunday school, hang out with the people and stuff and just be part of the church. She found it annoying that I was dumb enough to volunteer to work in every church we ever went to. So anyway, I don't have a denomination. Who? Hey, Trey. The statement of faith for the Baptist Church, I don't know a single Baptist that does that and lives it. They got that thing on the wall, like the new 10 Commandments or whatever, where they threw in that you ain't gonna buy, sell, deal, work for, touch alcohol thing or whatever that is. You can find that in the Bible, by the way. That wasn't a deal breaker for me. All the really good Baptists just ignore that. So they just put that, it was up there. They put that up there in the prohibition because I don't know why. But you need to find out what your church's statement of faith was and see if you and your fellow members are anywhere close. Short of a few doctrine, there's very little difference in verbiage, or adjectives, or anything else in any of the churches. Now, I no longer believe that baptism is just for proving that you've acknowledged Christ. I don't think that you can truly acknowledge Christ and accept his salvation without a baptism. So if you hadn't gone and got baptized, you're going to want to handle that before you die. Okay? Very important. It's in there too many times. What was it? Philip, when he was talking to the trader, when he got warp speeded over to wherever, and The guy's like, well, there's water here. What's to prevent me from being baptized? Nothing. So, even then, it wasn't, it was, the guy was like, okay, baptize me, get me to go. So all those guys that were on the day of Pentecost, they'd all been baptized already in water. Got the second baptism of the Holy Ghost. Now, if you don't get the second baptism of the Holy Ghost, you better do some self-checking. Hey, Sask, I say his name. He must have it on mention. Like I start talking nice about him. And anyways, do not get fixated in your walk with God on terminology. Now, there are some things that you need to understand that are against a rule. Rules. Not one dot nor one tittle. Now, I'm not going to start preaching to you about not eating crawdads. By golly, that's the only sin you ever pull. You're ahead of most of us. You're way ahead of Daniel. I guarantee you. And what about the guy that pulled out a sword and cut a man's ear off just for doing what God had ordained? I mean, it was a big enough offense that the Son of God took the man's ear and put it back on and berated the guy with the sword. The same guy fixed the guy's ear who was walking through on the Sabbath without washing his hands, took some corn or some wheat berries, dehulled them and popped them in his mouth and was eating and stuff. He completely broke law. Because some laws are, well, they had a purpose and they don't anymore. Now, let's talk about the Sabbath. It's covered really well in the New Testament and the Old Testament. It's a 24-hour period that's dedicated to God. Now then, if you're counting Sunday as your Sabbath, listen to me, folks. It's 24 hours. At sundown Saturday night to sundown Sunday has got to be your deal. Okay? And you don't get to go to the restaurant after church. You have to cook your food for the 24-hour period for Sunday on Saturday. If you're going to keep the Sabbath biblically. Well, wait, that's Jewish law. Jesus was a Jew. And that's about it. You can't change the rules just because some guy with the last name Wesley or some other theologian come up with a better way to do church. The end. What are you falling over now, Trey?
Just didn't hit the mark.
Oh. Well, you're more of a howitzer, not so much an arrow. Just saying. We could really use a mortar sometimes. Well, not all of us can be as near perfection as Brother Wes. Does that make y'all feel less special or something? Because that was the biggest lie I've told on here all night. If God had struck me down and I'd be burning in hell a long time ago, it had not been the prayers from my mom and people like her. I am 100% sure. And pray for the people you love. Pray for the people you don't. Don't pray. I don't know how many people notice whenever I put a call out a blessing or whatever in the chat. I'm real careful because I want health, wealth, and happiness to fall upon those who are in the light, in the love, in the gospel, who live in Christ or live in God through Christ. But the blessings of God to someone who lives outside of that are not those same things. A man who is living his fleshly life with a damned soul, it doesn't matter if he owns the Taj Mahal. It doesn't matter if he lives to be 200. He cannot experience the blessings of God. He cannot be blessed by God in a truly meaningful way unless he's in the light or she's in the light. So I would rather have somebody on rock bottom crawling up the steps of their local mission, begging for God to turn their life around than them living on Hollywood Boulevard or wherever rich people live in California. What's that one place in Austin where all the rich people live? Or the north side of Dallas. Ooh, there's some pretty houses out there. Yeah, pray especially for the people you don't love. But pray for the important stuff. Thank you for noticing, Trey. You're special too. Anyway, Smolo, if you're lurking in my room, I just wanted you to know this covered the mail today, and I love you. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet. I've got to hide it from my wife because apparently this is her favorite kind of game. So she goes, "Ooh, those are the good ones." I believe is the correct quote. Yeah, you just batteries in and you're good to go. So I may have to ask somebody to offer my dog refuge for a while or whatever, because my wife is adamant about putting her down if she has puppies, and she's going to have puppies.
She's going to die.
Yeah. So I'm going to need a foster for my dog.
Nothing more annoying than a puppy.
I would run a puppy mill if I could.
There is something more annoying than a puppy. Catahoula puppies, because there's going to be about 14 of them.
Sorry. We have formula, right? If I have to bottle feed them?
Nope.
Yes, we do. I found this in the closet.
No, they're going to die.
She's probably already ordered a burlap sack. But anyways, I don't know. It's her first litter. She might not have any. But yeah, we all fall. And the thing is, back to on topic here. We don't know when he's coming, but guess what? I do believe that the olive tree is getting pretty supple. I believe it's budding out, and it may even have some leaves showing. The enemies of Israel scored a hit. They killed 3 people and injured 60. That was not a good idea. They have been raining rockets on Israel for days. And I don't know what it cost to pull the trigger on that little missile intercept toy. But that's a really big fireworks machine. So, yeah. And I'm not one of those people. I don't believe that Revelations happens in chronological order. I don't believe it's. I don't expect to see a big red dragon chasing some pregnant woman around. Okay. There's a lot. I mean, there's a 30-minute miracle. I don't expect to see some leopard-headed dude or whatever. Some comic book character taking over the world. Okay. I would like to point out, though, thank you very much from Daniel, some warnings in there, that the government has acknowledged that, yeah, we don't know what the hell those were over New York and a couple other places. Wife. What you doing? Oh, okay. Your mama caught more ducks and stuff? Yeah. What's up, dude? This would be Dad. No. He doesn't know this, but I'm going to expect child support. Anyhow, let me. Hold on a minute. Got to get my noogie. You don't like dogs. Get out of my face. Never let my daughter raise your dog. Quit it, Carlo. Go sit down. Go sit down. Go sit down. Ah, give him a brick. You want a cracker? Cállate, culero. There's nothing in that. I gave that to Hyde already. He's licking Hyde's food can. Hold on, I was gonna. Anyway, y'all should go to the chapter 25 and read that and try to understand that this stuff's all happening at the same time, and it's just different people described in different ways. The parable of the 10 virgins. Be ready. And I think that's talking about a whole lot more than being ready than in. I mean, it is talking about your salvation and being right with God when God comes back. But hey, and by the way, I don't know if you were paying attention before this. I mentioned that things are going to suck. So be ready for it to suck. Okay, that's enough, man. You're going to drive me nuts. Quit it. There's nothing in there. And the bags of gold, again, I mean, if God gives you something, use it. Because if you're using what He gives you to make Him more, not yourself, to make Him more. Because remember the guy that made himself Lord over the Lord's house? He got chopped up in pieces. These guys in the parable of the bags of gold, they're using what God gives them to make God more gold.
Yes.
Except for the one guy, he's like, well, let me explain this last guy out here. Then the man who received one bag of gold came, Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not seeded, or not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here's what belongs to you. This is where if y'all want to do a video telling me I'm wrong, feel free. But here is that guy. I mean, this is my imitation of that guy. Lord, I know that once saved, always saved. And now I can pretty much, as long as I'm a good person and I don't never break none of these church rules, I'm good to go. And that's all I'm doing the rest of my natural life. Thank you. Amen. No, you were given salvation. You were given grace. You were given mercy. You were given hope. You were given love so that you could take those gifts from God, those many bags of gold, and affect positive spiritual change in the lives of those who do not have a bag of gold from God, so that their master can give them their own bag of gold. There's going to be a lot of people up there that thought because they went down there and kneeled, said a prayer, jumped to the swimming pool, and then went back to life. There's a lot of people going to find out, oh, dang it, that wasn't all there was to it. They're going to be really, really, really upset. Weeping and gnashing of teeth shall cast you into outer darkness, ye workers of iniquity, for I never knew you. You did miracles and this, that, and everything in my name's sake, but I did not know your name because you didn't hang out with me. So, yeah. No Barbie dress-up escape clause. Sasquatch, exactly right. Exactly, Sasquatch. I mean, and that's on the day when he comes back. That's it. Don't bet on the rapture to get you out of the tribulation. Because the tribulation is just like the worst of it. Wasn't there famines and disasters and all kinds of crap happening leading up to that? I believe that's what that pastor said, or that passage was talking about. It's crap. I mean, we got I don't know if it's the black feather whatever hat scarf people or whatever or not that did the pipeline. I don't care if it's some false flag government op to do whatever. I don't pick your poison. The pipeline shut down. People run out of gas. It's affecting the gas prices here. Okay. We had a pipeline running from, I don't know, north somewhere to south somewhere that was going to alleviate a lot of the stress we suffered with energy caused by out of the country oils coming in and stuff. You know, stuff that was making jobs, was going to decrease the need for greenhouse gases being expelled into the atmosphere because that oil has to get here. It's going to come here whether it's run down here on diesel powered trucks or through a pipeline. It's coming here. So all you did by shutting it down was making it worse. But anyway, things are getting rough all over. I mean, things have not gotten better on the world stage since 2008. I mean, the market's done this, but the market's just an indicator of, I think, inflation. Because I remember how much stuff cost in 2008, and I know what it costs now. Yeah, it's I'm sorry, Mark. Is it on? It must be on your end though. Is anybody else having trouble with my me buffering? Uh, anyhow, the you need, if you, and I'm not telling you to run out and buy what little fuel is available. Buy the fuel you need to get by. Do not leave the mother and child stranded at home, unable to get to her little minimum wage job because you bought all the fuel. Because you packed your garage full of fuel. Do not be that guy. You cannot store enough gas to be king of the world. Don't be that guy. If you want to be that guy, go out and buy a in-ground or above-ground tank and have the fuel delivered to your house. Get your paperwork done. Be that guy if you want to be somebody. Don't be the guy that drives up there with a trailer and all the gas cans he could get at Walmart, and don't be that guy. Don't be hold on. Who then the faithful and wise servant, whom the master put in charge of servants in his household to give them their food at a proper time? It will be good for that servant whose master finds him doing. But truly I tell you, he will put in charge of all his possessions. But suppose that servant is wicked and says to himself, my servant is staying away a long time, and he then begins to beat his fellow servants and eat and drink with drunkards. Worrying on then the servant, then the good Christian guy, then the guy who's the good old boy, starts worrying about only himself and shows total disregard for the health, happiness, the belly of. This guy was charged to give them their food at the proper time. So, yeah, it's a big deal. Being that guy is a big deal. Don't be that guy or gal, for that matter. People always like, well, what'd you do that for? If I go into the grocery store and there's 4 cans of green beans, I only get 2 of them. If the next guy in doesn't need any green beans at all and he just grabs those 2 because, damn, there must be a rush on green beans. I might run out of the 20 cases I have at the house. I better grab these 2. That's on him. He's the guy that has to answer for being a goat, not me. Now, if I want to leave a note, it says, hey, man, if you need green beans, here's a number, text me. I got plenty. I say so. That's up to you. There's gonna be a lot of people calling the number, doing prank calls and stuff. I don't know if I would do that. Yeah. Prep, but and prep hard actually. I hate doing inventory on our preps. I really do. They're like, because after you reach a goal, then you set another goal and stuff. And every time you do that, it just means you got to have more stuff. But yeah, hyperinflation's coming. The end. There are some people that can afford to buy bulk and can store bulk. I mean, like major band. That stuff you get at Sam's is not bulk, people. I know what bulk looks like. When 14-foot box truck backs up to your house and it takes you 3 hours to get your wheat off of it, you bought bulk. Or if you buy a pallet of wheat, you bought bulk. Okay. Two 25-pound bags, you bought 50 pounds worth of corn or wheat or whatever. It's still cheaper that way. But, if you go into the 100 and 1,000 weights and stuff on food, it's really cheap. Why don't you have friends? Well, I don't need 1,000 pounds a week. You got 10 friends? Then you've only got 100 pounds each. But you still get it at 1,000 weight. So, there's prepping options. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee and beat this dog with a stick. Get out of my way, you big ugly mutt. Were you playing with me? Step on your face. Oh, I didn't even know there was anything down there. Oh, he's guarding that stupid can. What he doesn't know is Hyde doesn't want that can because Hyde already ate the salmon out of it. I don't know. We'll see how this grand solar thing works out for. Dude, California's out of water. California and Nevada. We'll see how that pays out this summer. Their lake levels are supposed to have started going up, but they're still on the decline. There you go, Rachel. Exactly. I mean, we always bought because they were easier to. I mean, you can stack them like bricks. What are those, like 4-pound bags of sugar? Is that what it was? Anyway, the little bags of sugar. We call them the little bags. It's literally. I mean, it's like stacking bricks. Okay. But it was weird because the little bags of sugar were always the same price as the bulk. The first time in forever, the 25-pound bags of sugar were cheaper. than the small ones. And we're like, wow. So we just bought 2 of those. Because while I do not recommend keeping a massive amount of sugar in your daily diet, if you live a sedentary lifestyle, if you have if you're living an active lifestyle where you're cutting firewood not with a chainsaw, with a handsaw, you're splitting wood not with a hydraulic wood splitter, but with a maul or a single bit axe, or you're actually tilling your garden with this thing called a shovel and a fork. If you're doing the things that would denote circa 1800 to 1901 even, then putting sugar in your biscuits is a good idea. My mom's idea of a good breakfast on cold days was biscuits. And she'd tell you she was going to take them out of the oven. And then boom, you went in there, you got butter. You cut your biscuit, you put the butter on there, you put the biscuit half back together, you turned it, and then you opened it up and you literally put as much sugar as you wanted on that biscuit. You ate that biscuit with the sugar on it, and then you went outside and you got started working. Trust me, come lunch, that biscuit was gone. But you got a lot done. Rob hasn't got any rain of any substantial amount. Yes, Steve, you can come in now. Wish High Desert would start coming back over. He used to sneak into my stuff every once in a while. Dear wife, I would just like you to know that I would greatly appreciate it if you would not let him talk you into throwing stuff at me this evening. Thank you. I did put the door back on the hinges and fixed it to where, if need be, for my safety, I can close it. So, like I say, I have it open and propped at the right angle, so I've got light shining on that wall coming to this side of my face. And I've got light reflecting off of the door onto this side of my face. So it's not as shadowy. It's like super high-tech lighting engineer here. So. But yeah. Lentils last forever. Black-eyed peas last forever. We no longer buy the generic beans, red beans or whatever. We're just buying the name brand ones, and because reasons. No rolled up newspaper either, Rachel.
We haven't bought a newspaper in 100 years.
Dude, we have it. I did read one the other day, but it was laying out on the table somewhere. Oh, shit. That's why I asked her nicely.
one time in the general direction of my brother. It's sitting in the floor, and it bounced and literally stuck him in the leg.
He had it coming.
That might be a bad idea.
When do sugar canes supposed to be planted? Been wanting to plant some. You know, Southern Homestead or something like that. The dadgummit tall skinny dude and his wife. He's got a really cool ponytail too. They do sugar cane. That stuff's stupid easy to plant. I didn't know it was that easy to plant. It's probably warm enough for you to do it down there already, Trey. Man, I don't know. No.
Okay, keyboard.
Thank you, T-Boy. Got fork tossing in your blood. Well, the projectile thing was one of the reasons that I rearranged my computer. Now, she can still get me, but it's not an open, she has to use projectiles with discrimination. She can't just like lob grenades in my general direction and get me. I ain't done anything today. I was even nice to her a while ago. Twice, I think. I need a fluffier chair. Dog's retarded. Yes, Deep South Homestead. Tall, skinny guy with ponytail. He's got a couple of videos on when and how and whatever to plant sugarcane. I was thinking about it, but I was like, man, I don't, because if that stuff takes over, it's long, it's gone. We actually have some wild sugarcane growing around here. Does a pretty decent job of it, actually. In my defense, it's mostly fear that I will not treat her with the love that she deserves. So, and she's pretty good at chunking knives. So, didn't you stab your brother once too?
No, I just slapped the serrated knife across his arm.
Oh, so you cut him?
Yeah.
That not stabbed him?
I didn't stab him.
So this, okay. We'll have to keep that distinction in mind in our conversations, I guess. Has anybody noticed any ammo on the shelves? I still haven't noticed it. Just I was gifted some slugs. I just need to make them part of the casings. And I'm not gonna live like that ever again, Corsair. I have got her bad a couple of times. Spent a day or two like that, though.
I got to be evil on my sister.
Oh, shit, no.
I thought it was the Bible when he just cursed.
Hey, Bob stays over. Okay. Imagine, if you will, a world in which you are married to a woman that when you fall and break your knee on the concrete sidewalk, she leaves you there and goes and sits down in the air conditioning and spends the next hour and a half laughing at your inability to stand up. Watches you crawl across the yard into your own home, laughing at you and berating you, calling you names. Because it's just your knee, you should be able to walk it off. Imagine living in that world. Nope. You wanting some syrup? Just get you some of that high fructose corn stuff. Works for me. My wife doesn't like it when I make my own syrup. Actually, my wife doesn't think we should even call it syrup, but I do. It's good. Super simple to make. It's 1 part molasses, 3 parts Cairo, and 1 part distilled water. Mix it up. It's good stuff. Works great on pancakes. Cairo syrup is super cheap and it lasts forever if you don't crack the top on it. So, and you can do the same with granulated sugar. You can dissolve it into water and flavor it. So, pancakes are important. All right, Trey. Yeah. And she doesn't believe she is. That's a scary part. Really scary part. Has anybody okay, Steve. Has anybody got any prep stuff that they've purchased of late? Oh, are you in that high pitched whine or is that in my head? I love it when that happens. Um, Augustin Farms was some of their stuff was back in stock. We bought a little bit more of that, which is like the best thing ever if you can afford it. We're selective about the Augustin Farms thing though. We get the stuff that you use to flavor other bulks. You got some water? Good deal, Carol. That's good. And see, Sasquatch, like your rule, okay? You need fuel tanks. You need to have fuel for your tractors, your generator, your log splitter, yada, yada, yada. But I know guys literally that have, they've got 500-600 gallons of flammable liquid stored in their basement or in their garage. That's not smart.
Wow, that's funny. I never mind. I ain't getting political.
No, this channel's okay. What you got?
I don't think it's a regular ransomware.
I don't think it's regular ransomware either.
We all know how evil petroleum products are.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish that they would move the refineries. I wish they would build refineries here. Not necessarily right here on my house, but I would like to see a couple of more. I would like to see a refinery go up in the Midland, Odessa area. And I would like to see a refinery go up in the Abilene area, so that we would not be so dependent on the Houston area.
$4.20 a gallon? Good night.
Yeah, but yours is mostly tax. Well, y'all got like $2 a gallon in taxes, don't you? Like $1.50 extra, like state tax or whatever.
Although the station closest to the interstate today was at $2.99.
Yeah, I should have took my truck to town. I need to go out and I am going to fill some gas cans, but I'm going to fill 2 gas cans. Does 2 gas cans get me through the whole summer? Yeah, we got the lotto here in Texas. The lottery and the lotto here to pay for education, and then I don't know, they raised everybody's property taxes. Still don't know how that works out. Because they found all kinds of loopholes in that lottery thing to spend the money on other stuff. So, yeah. And I'll say this again: if anybody's heard anything in this video that they think is worth people hearing or whatever, feel free to run with the idea, especially if you get more views than I do. It's not about who says it; it's about it being said. We are so, and I don't care what state you're in. I don't care if you're in Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, California, Nevada, Oregon. Sir, I said it, Oregon, New York. I don't care. I don't care if you're in Canada, Alaska, Mexico, honestly, Australia. It's fixing to get real. They're showing all these green patches in the desert in China or whatever. The water they're using to make that desert a green, lush, productive farm country, they're getting by shutting the rivers off that go into India. They're literally causing deserts to form south of them so that they can pump water into a region that is, well, supposed to be a desert. So, and you don't hear about that in the news. You don't hear about, this country taking advantage of this country's situation to make their situation better. You just don't hear about it, which is sad. But that's the way it works. The end. Well, whatever. The former vice president, um, Biden, where was he? Where was he a senator at? Yes, Tibor, it did. Um, I was actually just old enough to remember all that stuff. Just barely. I remember watching them take down all of the 70 and 75 speed limit signs and stuff and put up 55. Kids today, they don't get it. Interstate travel used to be limited to 55 miles an hour. And that's literally all it would take is for war to break out in the Middle East, a serious war to break out in the Middle East. And fuel shortage would be nationwide. It literally would be worldwide. I mean, that's all there is to it. We have a surplus of fuel that we could use, but there's so much regulation on it. I mean, you can get a tank put in the back end of your car and you can literally fill it up with natural gas, liquefied petroleum, and you can drive around. It's cheaper, but you don't get any gas mileage. There's no gas mileage to be had. You actually have to inject something in with it if you want your engine to last. It will burn up. The top end, propane and natural gas and all that stuff will eat the top end of your motor alive. It just does. But we have it. They're literally pump natural gas out of the ground just to pump it back in the ground other places. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because you don't have to do anything to it. I mean, it comes out of the ground, you filter it, you separate it from the other gases, and burn it. If they're worried about coal burning power plants, why don't they just use natural gas? Good reasons, I guess. I mean, what's that one song, I Can't Drive 55? That's wasn't talking about in town. There were cars coming out back in the day. They had such good gas mileage, not even fun. You can't get anything with that. I had 24 miles to the gallon in that 80 model Chevy out there with a 350 in it. You can't get that in one of these new drugs. Well, you can get like 24. The people with the money have been jerking our chain for hundreds of years, at least. We just got to get used to it. Oh, I'm down to 9 people. What, everybody leave or something? Oh, you got flour and sugar too, Carol? That's a good deal. Can't believe nobody spent any money on prepper items over the last couple weeks. To me, I don't know. To me, I just find that crazy. I've actually been fighting down the urge to go and buffer the pantry more. Because you get to a point in your storage where you've got like, man, there's no way we can cycle through this and before the expiration date.
Beans and rice in a can.
Yes, we need beans and rice in a can. They didn't have any. My wife discovered her favorite snack, or well, a super easy, quick, easy meal or whatever. And well, apparently she's not the only one. So, I mean, it used to take forever to get anywhere. When did they reverse that 55 law? Does anybody remember when they did away with the 55 maximum speed limit of 55? I know that we parked um, one. We had 2 vehicles, and we parked one, and we only kept gas in one of them. But like I say, I was a kid. Because you're only allowed so many gallons a week or whatever. Yeah, I'm actually rethinking the not doing a garden this year. Just I'm really afraid I'm going to let fear and common sense interfere with my fun time. The 80s. I think that speed limit lasted way past the 80s. Hold on, let me Google it. Got to turn my phone back off of whatever. because I don't care now that I'm not talking serious Bible stuff or whatever. Oh. See what Wikipedia said about it. Blah blah blah. It was instigated in 1974 and remained the law until 1995. I knew we spent almost 2 decades under it. Yeah, that's what Wikipedia said. Yeah, there will be no fun. It is the apocalypse. And I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that still think the apocalypse is going to be a blast. I don't know. I think they need a wake up call. And I don't know. There's Rachel. That's rude. You should cook your own dog. Ooh, hold on. She brought up recipes. Found this at my mother-in-law's house. We went there for Mother's Day, and her daughter's throwing her cookbooks out, so I dug through them. This book does not have a title. I don't know. Well, yeah, the Meats Cookbook. Southern Living, the Meats Cookbook. And yes, I can turn directly to the page that we're worried about right now because reasons. Game meat. And it's got a little story, la da 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 da. But anyway, general directions for game meat. And I don't believe that they're correct on bear meat. Some of the rules that they have in here is well, it's because people's taste buds are a bunch of pussies. So expand your horizon. If you're willing to eat artichoke hearts and Brussels sprouts and beets, which I found out about a month ago that I actually love pickled beets, but that's different. Not everything's supposed to taste like beef. Sorry, but it can taste different. It's got squirrels, rabbits, opossum, raccoon. Let's see. We got hold on. Bear, venison. Let's see. Here's the list of rabbits, hares, squirrels, chipmunks, beaver, raccoon, opossum. Young, small game animals may be either fried or baked. In fact, rabbit and Squirrel may be substituted for chicken in almost any recipe. And if you can do it with squirrel, you can do it with rat. Of course, there, see, you wasted a perfectly good little chicken. You could have made you a chicken pot pie, but you didn't. Lemon juice and what's currant jelly is particularly good basting combination for small game. Cinnamon. I'm gonna burn this book. They said it just right there. It just said to put cinnamon on your fried food. But anyway, I just thought it was cool that they had this in here. So there's all kinds of recipes in here. I was looking through the book. That's pretty cool. I don't know when it was published or whatever. Just look for that. 70 something. It was right about the time speed limit was 55. Yeah. Copyright 1975. Library of Congress catalog card number 73-162979. That's cool. And then this one's how to make pickles and relishes. Because reasons. Hey, High Desert. You live in Nevada. High Desert. My sister always tried to feed me those things. They're disgusting. But I do like Brussels sprouts. I wish I could get them. I like them when they're really young, the little small ones. But instead of the size of a golf ball, I like them about the size of. I like them about half that size. And then I actually like to stir fry them. The big ones, the ones that are the size of a golf ball, you can half them, and you can go ahead and stir fry them in there. I actually like Brussels sprouts. But I mean, people are like, "Oh man, I don't." And some people actually don't like the taste of venison, but I'll, the one thing in there said, and then all of the fat should be removed from bear, beaver, and raccoon because it'll put a rancid flavor. It does not. I can't taste any difference between raccoon fat and pork fat. None. I don't know why they say that. Same with the possum. They say that the possum fat needs to be removed. And it doesn't have a deer fat is rough. You have to force yourself to eat that. But you don't throw it away. You figure out some way to spice it up where you can stomach it and eat it. And that's, I want to know what animals are worth wasting a bullet on before. I don't want to go out and spend all day popping armadillos to bring back to camp, and we clean them up and we cook them, and then nobody can eat them because armadillos taste disgusting. But I now know that that's not true. If you can eat turkey, you can eat armadillo. If you can eat a turkey leg, you can eat a possum. If you can eat goat, you can eat raccoon. Let's see what else. If you can eat chicken, you can eat a rat. If God, crab is so delicious. Straight out of the ocean into the boiling water. That is like the best crab I've ever had in my life. Just go to the store and get stuff. Well, you can do that now, but I'm a little bit worried about, famines and weeping and gnashing of teeth and starving babies. And miscarriages and stuff. And I don't think Jesus is going to come back until Christianity is pretty much out of the mainstream. But I don't know. The only person that actually knows that is God. And I bought crab at the store, Steve, and it ain't nothing like the crab we drug out of the water. Nothing like it. That was a good crab. Well, it's not actually the apocalypse. This is just SHTF, and we haven't flipped over to Tiawaki yet. So, and I know, there are a lot of channels that it's already happened. And who was it? It was somebody on somebody else's video that said something about started in 2019 or whatever. It's going to be a slow burn. It's not, there's not a meteor going to come in and throw the planet upside down. And we're just slowly descending into chaos and anarchy and stuff. I wonder how many people they have on the payroll digging around trying to find every assault that involves a person of Asian descent right now. I would like to know, the number of Asian people that have been assaulted by people in the past year. And then I would like to see a side-by-side of the number of Anglo-Saxon individuals assaulted in the past year. And, the race of the perpetrator, broke down into a chart, the race of all the perpetrators on all, Asian, Anglo-Saxon, Latino, and black. Hold on 1 second.
No, not good.
Okay. Um, and I would like to see, I don't think there's been, and I'm not saying there's not people getting attacked for being Asians. There's people that get attacked for being Asians. People get attacked for being white. People get attacked for being black. People get attacked for being Latino. It happens. I'm just saying, I got a sneaky faith in that they're driving a narrative that, we need some more smoke and mirrors, people. Whatever, Whitey, HTP. I'm not a genealogist or whatever. Is it genealogist? I just read y'all's conversation, Rachel and Steven. I like Corsair's answer to your curb stop thing, but whatever. Don't do that. Yes, Steve, and I mean, come on. My people actually come from like the Czechoslovakia area of the world or whatever. Some of them do, but then because in my family tree, I've got the Slavs, I've got English, I've got Cherokee running way on back down the line. I've got Daggum, now I've got the other engine. Anyway, even got some Irish in me. Just, it's America, for crying out loud. My family's been here. My family name has been here since 1762. So, but we know that there's proctors. My great granddad was proctor. The Reverend James or John Proctor. Yeah, I'm not giving him my DNA profile. I'm not getting put in the registry. Not happening. It really, I don't care what part of Europe my descendants came from. Doesn't who my ancestors were does not dictate who I am. I am American. I am a citizen of the United States of America, born and bred. Not since the early 80s. Of course, hers. But yeah, that would be. Are they allowed to DNA you from donated blood? Well, I mean, I guess they could. I mean, but that'd be kind of, then why haven't they gone through and done all the, just like run every convict's DNA against every other DNA thing, and why don't they answer a lot of questions like that? But I digress. What do you think about what's going on over in the East? I know there's been a few people the last few years that have been like exonerated from crimes because of the new DNA stuff, but that one kid did like 20 years inside, and he didn't do it. But the in my 17, 18, 19, and 20 years, I did my level best to spread my DNA all over the planet. So mine were led off of the boat in chains, high desert. So, yeah. I just got like normal blood, which is okay. Well, mostly, the part over there where, they got like a bunch of seas and dead seas and straits, and they wear a lot of different things on their heads. I was watching those protesters. I swear our media is so thrown off, man. And here in this video, we see the moment that in Israeli men run over a Palestinian protester. I'm like, no. There was a whole bunch of those guys trying to drag them men out of the car and beat them because they had those beanie hats on. And all they were trying to do was get loose. Because when he smacked that guy with that car and run into that concrete security thing or whatever, the door was still open because people had, and everybody that come out of that car was bloodied. So yeah, that was not protesters. That was a assailant was struck with a car after assaulting innocent passerbys. Is the way that story should have read. But yes, Corsair, I completely agree. All right, Carol, be good. Still praying for your dad, by the way. Yeah, it was a peaceful protest, and those people hate each other. You know, the end. You know, first thing I'll do when I get up in the morning is I will turn the computer on and I will check to see if the Middle East has exploded. Because yeah. When was this, Corsairs? And no, I didn't see anything about people pointing guns at each other in Seattle. Oh, Portland? Man, I hate it when I miss stuff. I was too busy worried about Israel, I guess. There's no way you can keep up with it all and not you. Well, there's no way I can keep up with it all because in my spare time, I'm either looking at the news or my new hobby is catching up with the show Breaking Bad. People wouldn't leave me alone about it, so I started watching it. That show's stupid, but anyway. All right, Steve. Just for you, I'm going to go pee. Oh, crap, big giant dog. Where'd you get? That cow is definitely under the house. That dog is so huge. Ugh. Oh, is that the guy with the little tiny gun? He pulled out the little 22 Magnum revolver or whatever. I'm like, oh crap. He's got one with bullets in it. And I did see something about that. I didn't. And I'm sorry, at that range, that little. Okay, Ticulero. What? Go lay back down. I'm not letting you out. No. Go lay down. Okay, Biddy. What do you want? You were already been fed. You didn't get fed much because you were being a jerk to the old guy. And you want a good and happy life. You got to behave better. Get back up. Back up. Hold on. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit. Sit. Sit down. Do not growl at that dog. I'm going to give you one more, and that's it. Go. You ain't getting no more. No. No. No food aggression. Food aggression disallowed. Lay down, like I said. He's terrified of a paper towel roll. When I figured that out, man, I have all the power now. No. You growled at the other dog. No. Cállate. Thank you. You're annoying me. Pretty. Keep it up, Shallow, and I will go in there and get him a steak. And I will put you outside, and I will give him the steak. And I will make you watch him chew on it. Gonna have to go beat this dog. You ready to shut your face? Oh. Another reason not to buy a dog from a puppy mill. I saw it, Biddy. Thank you. She's very pretty. She needs a cheeseburger though. Anyways, what were we talking about before? So rudely interrupted by the daggone dog again. Sorry, babe. Now the dog's outside barking at nothing. Yeah, they made it kind of hard to live stream from a phone or to upload from a phone for some reason. All right, Steve, I got to get out too. This is my last smoke on here, and then I'm out too. All right, everybody, y'all gonna start bailing. This 2 hours worth of live stream. I suggest everybody goes back and watches the first part of this. The first, I don't know, 45 minutes or 50 minutes or something of it was the part that actually counted. So, hey, Aaron, why am I not being able to say your name? Aaron, thank you. Now I've got to go get some in bed too because I'm actually forcing myself to sleep and get up. No, they've been. Steve was actually in here for over an hour this time, Betty. He's ACP. I don't know if he stuck around or not. Yeah, that's probably what it is, Rachel. That cat of hers will come through the screen and start clawing people all to pieces. And I want to tell y'all a story about this gal named Dana, who's always complaining about how much she don't like this cat being annoying, always getting in her stuff and chewing on stuff and being in the way when she's trying to do her videos and yada yada yada. Always complaining about this cat. So she goes out and she gets a kitten that's just going to have more kittens and starts letting it sleep on her shoulder, knowing that cat's going to grow up into a full-grown cat that's going to want to sleep on her shoulder, but there's not going to be enough room. And that's the story of Dana and her new kitten. Yep. I got something else in the mail the other day. Where I get? Got another present for me. I got a sander. I've been piddling around with it in my spare time. I've got the knife nearly planked out. So, but you can. Stuff is annealed. You can drill it, and you can cut it with a jigsaw with a metal blade. So, I'm using 36 teeth per inch high-speed steel jigsaw blades, and it's It goes through it fine. It doesn't cut it fast, but it cuts it. Are you driving again tonight, Chipper, or what? Figure as soon as I get off here, Biddy will go live and talk about her kid or little girl graduating or whatever. Well, I would. I may try to bring my grandson up with me next time I come up there. Him and John can hang out together. He every time I see him, I swear he's grown an inch, and I'm seeing him every 2 weeks. He's already in size 11 shoes or something. No, you're not, Chipper. You wouldn't be turning down them loads on the weekend. So lie. I spelled civil wrong. It's been scrolling across the screen all this time, and I just noticed that. It's got one of my eyes is my I is an L. I've got 2 L's in civil, but no I. Or is that just the way? No, it's just the way it looks. It looks stupid. Spelt it right. It just doesn't look right. Well, that's annoying. Yeah, who's Bob? No, I'm sitting there waiting for a reply. I'm like, who's Bob? Maybe it's a typo or something. Thinking about cutting the beard off. Every time it gets to the point where I can brush it and it starts, when I start wanting to do this with it, I figure it's time to get rid of it. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. What is he doing? What does he talk about on his channel? She like prepper, homesteader. I've tried to watch Die North a couple of times, but he's man, he's too sweet. I can't. I mean, that's just too. That's like trying to hang out with Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers when they're stoned. I just couldn't do it. Well, you don't know what he does on his channel, Biddy? Why aren't you subscribed to him? I'm not subscribed to anybody that I don't know what they got going on their channel. Oh, okay. That I went through, and if people don't have any content on, and you got to, when you go to their channel, you've got to go over to their videos because some of them don't have it set up. They didn't set it up right, so when you go to their channel, it looks like they don't have any content. they'll have videos, but you have to go over there and click videos. It's, I mean, you know, if you don't have your channel set up, then people don't know that you have content when they go over there. And you know, oh, he's Canadian. It's serious in Canada right now. I mean, the Nazis have moved in on our northern border. The end. I mean, they're, you know, for crying out loud, they arrested a preacher for telling people to go to church. I mean, the Nazis are in Canada now, in power in Canada now. So they're getting more and more powerful in the U.S. Yeah, it's you know, if I had the time, energy, and whatever to go to Canada right now, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't put a drop of money into that economy right now. They're governing their people. The the governance, the governing practices they are imposing upon their people are the polar opposites of what our country stands for. So the downside to it is the ruling class here wants for us to be like Canada. So that's getting way too political. But so anyway, that's it. Like I said, that's my last cigarette for the live stream. It's gone. I'm beat. I'm gonna go to bed. Y'all stay alive. Don't die. Don't waste your money on a high-end flashlight. Don't buy more bullets than you actually need. It's food. Food and cash. Do not. I'm going to do a video on this more in depth, but whenever somebody talks to you about Bitcoin, whenever somebody says the words Bitcoin to you, imagine monopoly money. That's what it is. Love you people. They'll still out. Don't die.